That's the name of the show. How are you, Charles?
Doing pretty good.
Right on.
And
It's the Double Burp High Charles show today.
that we wouldn't have it any other way. We're doing a review that Lee sent me by a group called the Ferns.
Yeah.
Right. So wow, this was a band that was very hard to find anything on.
Yeah.
So Lee knows how I'm like the investigator of investigators, and he found a group that was hard to find anything on. So kudos to Lee.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say much. I did see the cover.
Mm-hmm.
It was a chick group, apparently, and that's cool. That's about all I can say.
Mm.
So I'm ready to get into this one. Let's rock this one out because I ain't got nothing to say other than this is the first time I ever heard this in my life.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought this is the kind of thing that I'm into, and then when I heard it, I was like, "Damn, yeah!" All right. Do you want to start first?
Sure, why not?
All right. This is the first album by the Ferns. They made 4. But anyway, first song is Extra Special Way. What do you think of it?
The vocalist sounds a bit like Sheryl Crow.
Huh.
The lyrics are a bit wordy, but yet at the same time straightforward. I don't know. It's odd. A little wordy, but I got it. Guitar work is okay. It seems like a fun one to strum along with if you can, and I could. Does have a nice little acoustic guitar solo. A sparse song overall, but a nice, enjoyable listen. I could appreciate this one right here, Extra Special Way. Go ahead, Lee.
I put, this sounds like the sort of thing that could have been influenced by Neil Young's Harvest album, if the first song was about a married couple debating about breaking up and explaining why. It's a nice opening track, sort of understated, like I wouldn't know what direction it would go, the album, until I heard the next song, but this is enjoyable. Okay. Next song is Sit Down Sometime. Okay. This seems like the follow-up song, like if the couple were thinking about getting a divorce but decided to sit down and mention the issues they have. Musically, again, I have to cite Neil Young, but this time the album after the Gold Rush. And this sounds like a shorter and slower version of Southern Man. It has a cool folk blues vibe to it, and I think it flows nicely as a second track on the album. What do you think?
Well, again, I'm struck by the vocals sounding a bit like Sheryl Crow. Very emotional, which is impressive. And I can understand the sentiment lyrically, and that is very cool. It has a smoky lounge type feel to it, a bit of grit. The guitar solo works nicely. And this song even has a bit of sex appeal going to it. So definitely the kind of sounds that I enjoy.
Right on. What do you think of Tighten It?
I mean, who the fuck don't want to have a sandwich over a salad? I know I do. So, yeah, fuck salad. A bit more upbeat. I do like salad, though.
Yeah.
But I prefer a sandwich over salad. A little bit more upbeat. Almost has an E Street Band sound going on for it. Not necessarily Bruce, but the E Street Band.
Mm-hmm.
The bass line on is pretty good. A lot of slides going on. Not quite as enjoyable for me as the previous tracks, but I still do dig it. I call this an enjoyable filler track.
Right on. I put, this song lyrically sounds like it could be about society as a whole, or a certain group of people. That part is not clear, but it doesn't need to be. It's about a general sense of rebellion and not wanting to be in the stereotypical way of conforming. The music though it does not sound like the Monkey song for Pete's sake. It sounds like a theme song for a television series, perhaps called Tight Knit Group, starring the Ferns, who decide they don't want to be so tight knit, and each episode shows how each member rebels. It's a catchy song, and I could see it as a hit in a perfect world. Okay, now for the next song. This song. This sounds like it could have been on Neil Young's album Tonight's the Night, and quite frankly, it would have improved it. It's a sneaky sort of grower in that it doesn't scream hit song, but after a few listens, its message is apropos, saying a song doesn't need to say anything profound as long as the music is good. I dig it. What do you think?
I mean, this is almost how I see whoever the songwriter was as a songsmith in a song.
Mm-hmm.
The music is great. Who cares what the hell it's about is the gist of it. And I've grown, lyrically, and I've grown to about the same mentality in evaluating music. Almost. Not completely, but a lot more than I used to been. And I hear the irony in the message, and musically it's pretty good, and that's the point. If I had a complaint, it could have been a tad bit shorter, just a tad.
Okay.
But it's a brilliant observation in the song. I will say that.
Okay. What do you think of We Could Climb?
This one's a bit too light in the loafers for my liking. It has a TV theme song feel to it. The overall feel of it, I'm not with, but I do enjoy the guitar solo. It's just a style of song I'm not drawn to, but it doesn't lack all merit. It's unfortunately the least enjoyable for me at this point.
Okay, I put lyrically, it's a bit more metaphysical than some of the other lyrics, as if it talks about the spiritual connections and influences among people. And musically, it has sort of Hare Krishna Rama Rama vibe to it. I don't know if the group was doing that deliberately or if it was coincidence, but I could imagine George Harrison digging this song if he didn't choose to cover it. It's more of a filler track and not one of my absolute favorites, but I'll still listen to it and don't totally dislike it. Okay, now for How So. This also has lyrically a metaphysical vibe to it, as if it's referring to how people influence other people merely by us being together. And sometimes it's unexpected. And musically, this doesn't remind me of another artist. It's original, but I will say it does sound like a perfect song to open side to. What do you think?
Back on a bit of that.
And I'll be right back.
Lounge.
You can keep talking, and I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Back on a bit of the Smoky Lounge bluesy rock feel and some solid lyrics, so kudos for that. It isn't as strong as the strongest tracks here, but definitely more of a sound I'm into. This one could have been extended a bit more, actually. Seems like it was just getting going and it ended. And I think we could use more of this and less of We Could Climb. And so, while Lee's doing his thing, either way, how so, folks? Kind of confused. What to do? Just keep talking. Okay track. Not the best, not the worst. I'll just keep yapping while we wait for Lee to come back, I guess. He's got other things to do. Oddly enough. I know. I'm just going to take dishes out of the dishwasher here real quick. They hear me cleaning around. I want to say hi to Adam Marshall up there. You're a big supporter of the Lee Show. And telling how to do it. Property addition, even though you're the fake Bob Reeds. It's all good. Lee, are we back?
Yeah, I'm now back.
All
Okay.
right.
And then what
I
song
didn't
was it
cause too
again?
much havoc.
Huh?
No, I said the song. It was fine. We're
Okay.
on
What?
to the next one here.
What song was it again? How so? Okay. Now
We're
for
on a morning like this.
yeah, on a
No, we
morning
did
like
How
this.
So.
Okay, what do
Yeah.
you think of on a morning like this?
Well, it sounds like a different vocalist. And this one has like a poppy Guns N' Roses type feel to it. Like, I think the G&R part comes from the guitar solo. That sounds Splash-esque. And it's got some horns to the song, which is a bit unexpected, but works nicely.
Yep.
This one has a great feel to it. And if I have to, I'd rate this one higher up on the totem pole. So nice
Right
work
on.
on this one.
All right. I'm getting some water so I can get more booze, but I put, wow, the lyrics are positive and make me think I would love to have the sort of day the singer is having on this song. It's a celebration of a great day with a great attitude. The music is a bit jazzy also, which helps. I never mind a bit of jazz. It could technically be the best song on the album. I do dig it and think it's very well done. Okay, now for Rising Up Again. Okay, lyrically, this is somewhat ambiguous, as if the singer is indicating that the situation at the moment can influence an attitude. And even if someone is in an uncomfortable situation, the smell of good food can put the person back in a good spot, even if it's only temporary. Musically, it's a strong song, and one of the better songs on the album, and original sounding, except for the bit of saxophone sound during the last part, which made it sound like it could have been done by David Sanborn. Very good track. What do you think?
Whoever sang this, yes, almost sounds a bit like Amy Winehouse. And I am very meh about the sax solo on it. And it does feel like this point on the record, you're trying to branch out a bit too much. I'd have kept the bluesy type feels and avoided this style on this collection, like maybe on another record. Throw it there. But I do enjoy the singing on it. But again, I think it should have been maybe on another collection. It seems a bit out of place here.
Okay. What do you think of later on?
Back in the zone we need to be here. The bass line on it's fantastic. Has this mix between R&B and blues, which works real good together on this song. Lyrics are a bit shaky, but that can always be reworked, as there's enough here to be built on the track to make it great. I like this better than the Rising Up or We Could Climb.
Okay. I put, lyrically, this sounds like the next part of a morning like this. I would love to live in a neighborhood like the one described here. Musically, it's like an understated version of Neil Young's song, Like a Hurricane, from his American Bars and Stars album. I could see this song working on it. I like it very much. Okay, now, the last song, I'm on a Roll. Okay, good album closer. It's getting back into metaphysical territory with the idea of being influenced by the vibes and behaviors of others around. And it's a good positive message. I'm not sure exactly how workable it is in some cases, but it's at least a worthy goal. And musically, this sounds like it could have been, it could have closed Melissa Etheridge's first album and did it more justice than it had, even though I thought the album cover of hers looked good. It's a fine song. What do you think?
Well, we go out with a sound that this outfit does well. I would have put a little more guitar on this, beef them up a tad bit. But the song reminds me of a sound, brace yourself, Noel Gallagher did on Chasing Yesterday.
That's cool.
So that works for me. This was a decent little number, complete with a great guitar solo. And overall, this was a fun listen, and I recommend people give it a go. Check it out, folks. The Ferns.
Yeah, right on. Thank you.
You're right on.
Yeah.
So you want to let people know.
Yeah.
Since we went through all of it.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah, I wrote about 95% of everything on here, all the songs. Suno did a little bit of arrangements and musical additions, but it's my work. And even though, and then I thought the title, The Ferns, and even the cover, I thought of the particular women who I picked for the cover from this other AI site that I did women's pictures for, and then the actual background for it was based on a picture that I got from an actual place, but they illustrated it for here. But yes, so it's basically it's
regardless
as if
of the photos.
I produced it.
Right, regardless of photos, we wrote this. It was a hell of a fun listen. So, folks, give it a chance. Listen to the Ferns.
Yeah.
Support Lee, who's trying to make music for the masses.
Yeah.
I know I do.
Yeah.
So you should too. So
thank you.
Thanks for having me back, Lee, and
especially
let me review this with you.
Yeah, especially since of all of the stuff that I put up on YouTube recently, this has gotten the least amount of views, this album.
Wow, they're stupid.
This other one that I did, which maybe later we might review, got a lot more views, which I'm surprised at, but happy for. And that one's more instrumental. And then there's another one where I did, which was actually songs that I wrote totally back in the day and have another playlist of, but I decided to do it with a female vocalist. And that one's gotten quite a good amount of views too. So it's getting okay. It's always a little hit and miss because you never know how people are going to go as far as what they hear. But at least it's worthwhile to try.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Right on.
So, folks, check this one out. And thanks for having me back again.
Thank you so much. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.